Oh, it's about 7:15. Kevin is going to be here about 8 o'clock. This is the thrust washer that was missing. This is a thrust washer, like the one that was missing from the transmission. I'm going to put it in here. I'm going to go ahead and put just a small amount of adhesive on the back and then put it in place so it'll hold itself in place when we insert the gear cluster. I could put some spray cement on there. I could put a very light coat of silicone on there. I could put a very light coat of my favorite gasket sealer, of which I have a little bit here. And of the three, I think I'll just use a little bit of gasket sealer on it just to hold it in place, because this is oil soluble. Anything that would stick out gets dissolved in the oil. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll just put it in place and then wait until Kevin gets here at 8 o'clock, and we'll put it together. Put it together. And there's the thrust washer, nicely settled down into its groove with this little pin and the little hole holding it in place. So when we install the cluster, it should stay there just fine. All right, we're preparing to present the gear cluster to the transmission. I put gasket sealer on the face of the tranny. I put gasket sealer on both sides of the gasket, paying special attention to the bottom half of the opening where the oil rests when the bike is not being ridden. And over here, I've got the cluster sitting here. We're ready to present it to the bike. And I've got a light coating of gasket sealer on that also. So I'm a little overkilled with gasket sealer because I want a good seal. And the good news with this, the stuff I use, any excess should be in there that might get washed away. It's oil soluble and it doesn't do any damage. So we're ready to present the gears to the bike. All right. Kevin.
Wait a minute. Something seems.
What's that?
Well, okay, I've got two holes here. So this goes over that?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right.
And that side too.
Yeah, okay.
Guides it in.
Yep, all right.
Okay, now before we start, I've put the fourth gear in place inside, as is the thrust washer. So now we're ready to slide it in on the two dowels that stick out. I've also put these together in the past by taking those studs out and just putting the whole
Get caboodle in.
You're missing right here.
Yeah,
just a little bit.
Yeah, I gotta
Okay.
get it in the back. Got it lifted up here too. There we go.
Okay, see if you can get it to slide in gently. Let's see.
Oh, I see. There we go.
There you go. You may have to move this to get it to go over top of the part that's inside.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
Try sliding it slightly to the side, back and forth.
Yeah, see, it's just.
It has to go over those.
Yeah.
And
stuck.
maybe it's just a matter of...
It's stuck on something now. It's hitting something.
Is it?
Yeah, don't know what. It's too solid. I'm bumping on something. There we go.
Oh, there it just went in. Okay.
Well, not quite.
You turn the kicker just a little bit.
Yeah. Pull it back out. Well, shoot. Now we're bumping on something on the inside. I don't know what it is.
It goes that far. And I think you've got it. I think you're going to draw it in at this point in time.
Yeah.
I think you can tap it in.
Yep.
Or draw it in with the screws, one or the other.
Yep.
There it goes. Very nice one.
Yeah, the screws will draw it in the rest of the way.
Okay. Let's put a couple screws in and then we'll try shifting in the different places. I'm not sure if we can do this by hand or not, but I'll go on the other side and turn the main shaft.
Okay.
And see if you can get this between the different positions.
Okay, ready? Yep, third.
That's one.
Yeah, let me get, okay, that's third gear. Gotta get a lever on it, that's the trouble.
Take it.
Yep, second. That should be neutral.
Yep.
First.
Okay, so you've gone all the way through the gears.
I didn't do fourth. Here, let me get the fourth. Yeah, I gotta get a lever on it. Okay, that was jump through. That was second, third, fourth.
All right, so we've got all the gears.
Yep.
Everything's working.
You're ready.
All right.
Now let me try to get back to neutral.
Oh, sure.
Third, second. That should be neutral.
Okay, and that is because
Yeah.
I can turn the center without turning it back, so you're indefinitely neutral.
Cool.
Okay, so let's just tighten the heck out of that, add any extra screws, and whatever we got left over, let's
Yeah. All
put
right.
it together.
This big bugger.
Yeah.
What's this one?
You may remember that when we took the transmission apart, there was no lock tab on the main shaft retaining bolt nut. I have a bunch left over. You get leftover parts like this when you buy kits, but don't use all the kit. So you get leftover gaskets, like all of these, and leftover lock rings. And let me tell you, it comes in real handy to have them and put them someplace where you can get at them. Now over here, let's show you how it works. This guy is the end of the main shaft, and he's got an insert right there, and it fits to that little tab on this locking washer. And go ahead and put that sucker in there, and then we'll put it together. Fits in there? Lovely, lovely. Okay, then this guy goes on it, and you don't want to over tighten this. This guy goes on tight with a nudge. And that's what keeps
the other side.
Yeah, that's what keeps the main shafts in position.
Okay, how do we do that? Okay, I got a hold of this one.
Yeah, a little rough here. Okay, it's going on.
Yeah.
Now it's turning, so I have to find that notch again. Okay, it's in the notch.
Okay.
And now I'm going to tighten it down a little tighter.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm going to hit it gently. Do you have the a socket? Oh, this one right here.
Yep, right. That's all right there.
Okay, you're holding the other end.
Yep.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get a pair of pliers to hold it.
Yeah. Use just regular pliers.
I use slip joints on it and try to stay off the threads.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah, theoretically.
You're slipping.
Yeah, it's slipping. Hang on. Okay, try now. No. Okay.
All right, that's tight enough.
Yeah.
It's in there nice and snug and tight.
Yeah.
And I'm going to turn this, bring me a screwdriver, and I'll put this little locking tab up right here. Thank you. And if you want to bring me those long, you just use the slip joint?
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe I don't, you know. Yep. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Let's just use those here. There you go. All right. Very nice. Let's continue the process. Okay, we're going to try to keep this on the work without getting in the way too badly. This is a little piece of PVC piping that, and actually I've got it labeled BSA's kicker spring tool, and I realize it'll work on this 500 just fine. This plate down here fits on a very narrow ledge right over here, and there's nothing holding it on, and so it'll pop off when you're trying to draw that spring all the way around and get it on there. It's a so-and-so. So I built this out of a piece of PVC. We're going to put it on there to hold the plate in place. And we're going to do it by putting these on here. You still got a good view?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Okay, so that's tight. That holds that plate in place. Now I'm going to take this screwdriver that I modified. There, let me see if I can get a good view. I use this as a spring pusher and a spring puller. Now I'm going to show you, hopefully, how we can reach down here, catch the hook of this spring. Get off there, out there. Thank you.
Okay, I got that.
All right. We'll try to catch this and pull this spring all the way up and around. You got to make sure it doesn't go over top the rest of the spring. Bring it up in here, like so. Get it past the hook. Past the hook. And there it goes. Okay, so let's try again. Okay. It's never easy. Let's get the hook in there. What's really silly is we did this as a practice run before doing the video, and now we're doing it on video.
We're not. I objected.
Kevin said, just tell them how you did it. Okay, and it's off.
Yeah.
Failure is a wonderful teacher. All right, so there we go. I got that. Now if I can just do again what I did before the video. Coming around the bend. It's got to come all the way around, get around that hook. By the way, I could see us making that hook shorter. You know that?
Yeah.
That would actually help a lot. And there you go. So it's on. This is on. Now we have to make darn sure it doesn't pop off while we're doing anything else. Okay, that's putting yonder spring on. Okay, we're going to put the outer cover on now. I've put gasket sealer on the face of the outer surface. I've put gasket sealer on both sides of the gasket, paying attention to the bottom half. And I put gasket sealer on the face of the cover itself. So we're going to slide it in now and show you. We put the shifter on the shifter shaft because I've found over the years, as you go in there, if you jiggle the shifter shaft, it'll slide over the shifter plate and you can slide it in there. And that's the way it's supposed to work. And Kevin over there is learning about all the should do's and they says, because here we go. There's nothing we can do except try to get it on And that's exactly what you got to do. And see, you see it go over there?
Yeah.
And you know, we may have to move the kicker too. Just let's try that a little bit. See if that'll fall into place. That's I've got it. I'm going to move that just a little bit and make sure that it's not caught on the end. What's this? Okay, that's the same. You're good.
Yeah, we're good there.
Yep. Should go on. Those are capital shoulds. Let's put a little socket over this and a socket over that and check that. Let's try these. Well, try Jake. Let's get a little bit of inertia. Let's see. That'll fit over that nicely. Is it going in?
Yeah, it moved to just a hair.
Oh yeah, there you go.
And it still
seems to be hung up just a little bit. Try that. Okay.
Yeah. It's hung up on something still.
Think so?
Well, why don't you whack it? You're more comfortable giving it a hard smack than me. It's your name on the door.
Yeah, my name on the door. I like that. Yeah. Let's see. And should just should.
Yeah.
Capital should just slide right in there.
Yeah, just need more whack.
Need a bigger whacker.
That's right.
In the movie Nobody's Fool, there's a kid named Whacker because he liked to whack things.
Yep.
All right, my kind of guy. All right, tighten it down, big guy.
Yep.
Actually, you know what? Yeah, go ahead and snug
Yeah.
a couple, and then we'll go through the full shift pattern, okay?
Yep. Where are the? I guess they must be in the other bag. The 2 bolts for the studs.
I may have put them in the cleaner.
Ah, okay. This will work.
That was very long.
They're all the same length, believe it
Are
or
they
not.
really?
Yeah, yeah. Well, he said. No, I'm a liar.
You know, because I would look at a longer one here
Yeah.
versus up there. Gee, if we just had some sort of mechanical turn.
I know. You know,
Something like a pistol grip thing, something that would just drive those in there.
Torn off too many heads with them, scared me to death. And I got a short one down here. I bet you it's a long one.
I bet that's a long one.
Yeah, so, 50-50 chance, and of course you're going to get it wrong.
Gee, if we just had some sort of
Hush.
mechanical remover.
You do. It's called Kevin. Oh, yeah.
You're not jaded yet. We got to work on your jading.
Yeah, it's true. Oh, you mean like this thing?
Oh, look at that. It's magic. Okay, now let's do a complete four-step shift pattern out of it, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to stand over here and turn yonder main shaft.
Wait a minute, let me get this thing on there. I don't have the gear shift lever on yet.
All right.
Okay.
All right, so find that.
That should be first.
It feels good. Go to neutral.
Okay. Neutral.
Perfect.
Second.
Second.
Third.
Third.
Fourth. Oh, nice. Coming
Okay,
down.
Coming down.
3, 2, neutral, first.
All the way.
We're good.
Yeah, we got 4 gears.
Cool. And I like that
All right,
position. So.
we're going to go ahead and finish sealing this up, and then we'll go to the other side. All right, we've got Kevin's side of the tranny all put together. We're going to start on this side. First thing we're going to do is slide in the sprocket into the seal, and there it goes. And now we're going to put the locking ring on, which I've flattened out and cleaned up. I'm going to put that on there. All right, now the nut. We're sticking the nut on, and this is where we're going to get out my medieval weapon and lock that sprocket so we can tighten this thing down to about 50 pounds or so. They don't have a spec in the book, but 50 will do, because the locking ring is going to hold. First of all, there's no reason for it to come loose, and the locking ring is going to hold it anyway. So we're going to get down in here, we being Kevin, because I'm holding the camera, and he's going to go down here, and let's see.
The bottom,
you
right?
got to go, yeah, that way.
Somehow. Yeah.
The good news is this is a lot easier than most bikes. So you're going to have to come all the way in, all the way in from here.
Yeah.
I know. It's a pain in the butt. I don't know if putting this down will help or not.
And better.
Let me hold this up for you.
Thank you. Yeah, it'll make a difference.
I know.
Come on, baby.
We'll be back in a minute.
Yeah.
All right, we've got the medieval weapon in here and the chain around it like so. Okay, and now we're going to tighten this guy down. And all we have to do is get the big socket. That's the one?
That's
All right,
the one.
we're going to get a torque wrench now. All right, Kevin's tightening it now. He's got the torque wrench set to 30. That's 30. Go to 40 and let's see what it feels like.
That's 40.
You know, I'm almost tempted to leave that. That's plenty tight.
I was going to say, and with those tabs over it, it's not moving.
Yeah, it's not going to go anywhere. There's no lateral strain on that, not at all. So we're going to leave it at 40 pounds. Anybody think that's wrong, let me know. All right, the nut's on, 40 pounds, and I'm going to pull down the locking washer now. Now, I just use the screwdriver to just lift that lip up just a little bit. Now I'm just going to go in there with a pair of slip joint pliers. Let's see, here you are, slip joint pliers, and pull it down the rest of the way. Nice and tight, good and tight, and nice and even without damaging it. That's just fine. Okay. I might just go ahead and string the chain right now while I've got everything wide open. It's 10:30. Kevin had to go home around 9. I took a coffee break and then I went down to Rogers to pick up a primary case gasket. Before I left, I got the chain put on this bike, and so the chain's installed and it is safety wired. I don't know, anybody who's new to the channel might look at this. It's a way of making sure that the master link doesn't come off, and it doesn't rub anything because you got lots of clearance here and there's lots of clearance in here, and it goes behind the link, so it's not rubbing on anything. Anyway, it's just something I do when I put a chain on a bike. I safety wire the master link. Okay, the chain is on and safety wired. I've got the inspection cover in place and hand tight. I'm going to go over it now with the impact tool. Just each one, hitting it a few times. These screw heads are very, very shallow. You try to tighten them by hand, all you're going to do is mess them up. Okay. There. All right, they're nice and tight now. So now I'm going to go ahead and put in the primary drive. All right, something I do before I put things together. I take the keys, and there's, okay, gotta find the picture there. And I run them on a flat file, just to take the burrs off, the edges off. They get a little worn, and with the burrs and edges, they make it just a little bit harder to catch. So it doesn't hurt at all to take them on a flat file, hit the face, hit the back. You can actually feel, you can actually see the edge there. And as soon as it starts feeling smooth, you know you've taken off that roughness. Doesn't hurt them, doesn't affect the way they work. Just hit all three faces. See how bad that is, how bunged up it is? When you're putting these things in, they're putting the primary drive in, it helps when it slides together nice and smooth. And these little burrs can make it just a little bit harder. So clean them up, doesn't hurt. Might make life easier. You can feel when you get them smooth. Just stop grinding. Okay? I've already done this one. Okay. Okay, so they're clean. All right, putting in the primary drive is fun. The front pulley is splined. It'll go on first. The hub of the clutch assembly is a taper fit with a key. So you have to line up the keyway and slide it on as you slide the front pulley on the rest of the way once you've got it started. That's the only way to describe it. I'll show it to you. This is not pretty, it's not easy, and sometimes it's downright difficult. Other times you walk over to it and say hi, and it says, gee, give me all that stuff, and it just slides right on. So let's see how it goes today. All right, so here's the whole unit. I've got the keyway for this clutch facing up right about here. It should match this pretty good. You're hanging on to the center because that's what moves. We're going to put this onto here. Okay, now we have to find the keyway over here by feel and start sliding it in. Get this guy started. There we go. Now this guy has to slide onto the keyway. And if you can do it by feel, so much the better. And if you can eyeball it, maybe that'll help. And you can also get back here with your fingers and feel it. And try with the exhaust pipe in the way so you can't see in there. This thing is killing me. Trying to feel the keyway here. It just slipped on. There, it went in. Okay, so now we tap this one in. That one's in. And see how it goes.
Good morning.
Well, hi there.
Are you expecting anybody over?
Hang on. All right, so I'm going to continue tapping this on. Pushing this on. You can feel it's on the key. Okay. Big washer. The nut. That's interesting. Let's see if this nut fits into that center of that washer. I don't think so. This is the locking part. Huh. No, so this is the locking part. All right, let's stop. Okay, there's no way to put a locking tab in that little area on this particular bike, so they use this locking style nut. See the split? The split is what locks it, but you can see the split is actually completely closed. So I'll show you what I do to sort of turn this back into a locking nut, okay? So what I do when I think that the locking portion of a nut, such as this with the split, is really probably not working that well, I take a big chisel, like so, and I take Jake the 3-pound hammer, and I go across here like so, and I crease it in the middle of each flat. And all that does is sort of collapse the outer thread, which sort of turns it into a locking nut again. And then I use some Loctite on it. So that's just something I do. Okay, I'm going to tighten that center nut. This is just preliminary using the impact tool. That's about as tight as it'll do there. Now I'm going to put I'm going to lock this against this and lock that against that and use a torque wrench on it. I'll be right back. All right, I'm getting ready to torque the center nut on the clutch, and it's supposed to be torqued to 50 pounds. I'm going to show you how I lock the clutch assembly. It's crude, rude, and defective. So I'm going to zoom in here, and you'll see a socket right there. And over here, a socket right there. This socket locks the outer clutch assembly, and this socket over here locks the inner. Now at this point I've got the torque wrench set to 30 pounds and I got a click, so I'm getting ready to go to 40 pounds and then 50 pounds. So I got 30 pounds. There's 40 pounds. That's 40. And that's 50 pounds. Wow. Still in there. Yeah. I can't get ticked 50 pounds. Let's go back to 45. I got 45. Why can't I get 50? All right, we're gonna call that 49. I'm done. Okay. Now. All right. Okay, now. Let's go ahead. I could load this. I'm not going to. That's well, put this guy on. Once again, it's the joy of catching the keyway. All right. Reaching for Jake the Tapper. All right, I gotta find this nut, so hang on. I gotta search. All right, I'm gonna tighten the front nut on the alternator rotor. Calls for 30 pounds. I've got it jammed with a socket between these two. Let's see, I've got 20 pounds on the wrench now. That's 20. That's 30. Okay, got a good 30 pounds on there. And here comes Prime. Okay, I'm gonna lock the locking tab on that nut. I cheat a little, I mean, I have to admit it. I use a screwdriver or a just to lift that a little bit so I can get the plier on it. Once I get that on it, it's easy to pull it down. You get a nice flat lock all the way across. Okay? All right, so far so good. All right, I repaired the wires on this stator. I ran a 1/4 inch shrink all the way up to the point where I'd cut off the original plastic and butted them up against each other and shrunk it down. Then I ran a splice of 3/8 over the two, the new and the old, and I filled that 3/8 splice with silicone. So when I shrunk it down, I got that completely filled with silicone inside shrink tubing. So that should be nice and oil tight. Then I put on a new bullet connector on the end. That one had pulled off when I disconnected them. So I'm getting ready to install this. Then I will install the clutch. I looked at these plates. These plates are pristine. They're just fine. They must be brand new. So we're going to reuse those. So that's where we are. Going back to work. Let's hang the stator. Okay, now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this through like so. Gee, I wonder if I should have done this before. No, okay, there it went. Okay, switch down. I can find it under there somewhere. It's way over here somewhere. Yeah, I'll find it. Matter of fact, I guess I better find it. Okay. All right. Now let's put this guy on here, roughly about here. And what I'm going to do, it may sound crude, it probably is crude, rude, and I don't know what all. I'm going to pull this out a little, like so, and I'm going to force silicone rubber down into that pipe to completely seal it with silicone. Then I'm going to push the wire into it. Okay, now it's completely sealed in there. And I'm going to push that wire into it. Now I'm going to take this original split guy and I'm going to put it over top of it. Cleaning it out, get all the oil off of it. I'm going to fill it with silicone. Make sure it's covered all around. And put it over top. So it's holding everything in. Now I'm going to push this alternator in all the way. I'm going to heat this section of wire and push it in. Nice and flexible. Get it around here and push it in. So there you go. At this point, I think I've got a pretty doggone oil-tight fitting here. And that's all I'm going to do. Now, what we do now, these pieces of aluminum are roughly 10/1000ths of an inch thick. I put these in here. Okay, got a good 10 thousandths clearance all the way around it. All right, next we will load the clutch. Hang on, be right back. All right, let's load up the clutch. Yeah, let's load up the clutch. All right, I won't make you watch the whole thing. All right, well, that was boring. So I got this tool screwdriver that I modified. Can we see? Yeah, okay, it's to fit these guys. Screw them down till they're tight. Till they're flush with the top. If you find yourself going farther than that because you want to tighten up your clutch, it's time for new plates. All right. I'm going to install the clutch cable now to make sure this guy's got good action. I'll be back. Let's adjust the clutch throwout rod clearance. Here. First of all, come up to the clutch handle and loosen the adjustment completely, so that there's absolutely no tension. All right, as I was saying, no tension at all up here, completely slack. Okay? Then come down here and loosen the lock nut. Like so, because it's loose right now. Taking a screwdriver and holding the lock nut loose, tighten it in all the way until it stops. Okay, now you've just taken all the slack out of from this side to that side on the push rod. So now that it's just touching right there, back off a quarter turn. Some people say an eighth of a turn, some people say something else. I go a quarter of a turn. And then lock it down tight right here. Okay? Now, at this point in time, I take yonder socket that fits on there and a screwdriver that'll fit through it. Good. And a wrench about 11/16 or so that fits into the socket, and another wrench which I call a smiter. So I've got all this. Yeah, you can see it. Okay, I'm going to back off a little. And I'm going to back in off there so you can see. I put through the socket into the screw, put the socket on, take this into the two flats that I ground onto the sprocket. So I'm holding the screw tight. This is on here, that's on there. I take this and do that. And I've just locked that on really tight. So that's adjusted and tightened. At this point, I come up here to the lever and adjust that clearance. Not fun moving this thing around. See, now you're adjusting the clearance on the cable. The push rod is adjusted, the cable's adjusted. You do this so that it's, give yourself about 1/4 of an inch slack here. At this point, you're going down the road, there's no pressure on the clutch at all. All right? Now, watch the action of the clutch. Now that we've got it adjusted, you'll see the plates separating nicely. See that? You got nice clearance here. I mean, that's good release. All right, that's enough playing with that. Okay, I'm going to start fitting the primary cover, and these are the screws that hold it in place. They're in pretty good condition, but every now and then you run across a screw that's been messed up by people not getting a good grip. Like that one's terrible. Okay, here they are side by side, one that's pretty good and one that's terrible. Okay, so take the one that's terrible. Here's not bad. Here's one that's terrible. Let's take him. That was pretty good. Pretty good. You could use a little touch up. And the rest of these are reasonably good. And let me show you what to do in order to fix them up a little bit. Okay, stand by. All right, take the ones that are slightly messed up. Put them in a vise like so. So they're supported, not tight. And use Jake Jr. Well, that was cute. Okay, take two. There we go. Use Jake Jr. to pound down what's sticking up. Then take a Phillips out of your impact set and do that. And if you want, you can always just clean it up a little bit and then take it over to the wire wheel. Bottom line is, anything that's sticking up, like all of this, if it's sticking up, it's not doing you any good. So tap it back down. And you can take some of the nastiest Phillips screws, regular screws, and really clean them up nice. So that you can get a better grip on them when you install them. Remember, if it's sticking up, it's not doing you any good. Okay? I'm going to take these three over to the wire wheel and buff them up. All right, so they're mixed in here with all the other ones. And I'm not sure you can pick out the ones that I fixed. But anyway, it makes it makes them better to screw in. Well, we're getting there. I've got the primary cover on, screwed down tight. Getting ready to put the primary chain adjuster back in here. This is the adjuster. And let's see if we can see. Okay, this is the adjuster. And this is the tool that is used to turn it. Okay, so let's get down. I'll go down here and get it started, hopefully smoothly. Get a larger screwdriver. There. This should go in there and grab the little threaded rod that does the adjusting. And it feels like it has. Good. All right, now it's quite a ways. You feel the adjustment up here. There's an access hole here with a cap on it. And you can feel the slack in the chain. So I'm going to put the tool in here, like so, and speed up the process a little bit. Oops. Get in there. Oh, please go in nice and gentle. Do not strip or anything stupid. All right. All right, let's do it with these guys. Nothing's ever easy. Come on now. I'm not going to take this lid off. I swear I'm not. Got a long way to go. Getting there. Okay, right about there. I've got about that much slack, not even that much slack. It feels good. Turn it back just one. Yeah, that's about 1/8 to 1/4 inch of slack on the primary. Okay, now take this out, and we put the cover in. Hang on for a second, I got to get some more sealer. Well, I just used up the last of my tube of sealer. This is the sealer I use, Permatex Anaerobic. And it's very expensive. It's like $15, $16 a tube, but it's worth its weight in gold. I really, 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 really like it. I've tried Jumbo Bond. I've tried a dozen other sealers. This is the one I like. I don't care what you like. Don't tell me. This is the one I like. Oh my. It's 1:45. We've been working out here since roughly 8 o'clock in the morning. The bike is back together. The whole primer is sealed up. Got to put the foot pegs back on it. But so far so good. I'm going to let it sit there without any oil in it for the time being. We will put fresh oil in it tomorrow morning after the gasket sealer has had a chance to coagulate overnight. Nice and tight. Good and tight. All right, we're going to let it sit overnight to harden up. And we will put fluids into it tomorrow morning. Put the foot pegs on, rear brake connect the wires to the alternator, and see what happens tomorrow morning.